is to configure the firewall D. Before this, though, we need to do some additional settings of the computer, so to change the name, passwords, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to start first the firewall. I'll start at it. Right click and start button. If I click on the start on the top, this one, it will start all the appliances. So the next thing is right click and open the console, which by default will be assigned. It is using the remote viewer to view remotely to view within the virtual machine or the appliance. So I see the machine starts right away. It has been pre-installed. They use the QEMU virtualization to work under Windows with the GNS3 virtual machine. And I'll click on osboxes.org, which is the username, and I'll choose the same. The password, if you remember, is the same. osboxes.org. That's the initial one. I'm going to change it right away, actually. I'll go through the initial wizard here. Click next, next. I will stop location services on the this virtual machine. I'll do next again. I'll skip this one as proposed, and I'll start using CentOS. And then basically I'm gonna close the getting started windows. And after this, I'll right click on the desktop. I'll choose open terminal and I'll open it on the full screen, so to work without any problems with it. By the way, you could access remotely all of these appliances. On the right side, you see they say what is using as a client, as well as on which port. That's the IP address, if you remember, of my virtual GNS3 virtual machine. So first, I'm gonna log in as a super user, which is not good practice to do, but for this exercise, we'll use it. osboxes, if you remember, .org is the initial password. I'm gonna change the password for the root first. Even though it's a simple, it will be allowed. Then I'm gonna change the password for the osboxes user. I just click OS, I'll click tab to finish to automatically find out the name of the user. I'll click enter. Actually, I'm gonna use the same password, which is not good practice in the environment of enterprise, but for our app is okay. And now both are changed. I'm gonna change also the name of this appliance, of this virtual machine, as per the schema to FW, as well as I need to use the domain name, so it would be the fully qualified name will be fw.chaosnet.local. So I'm going to change, but I'm going to use the nmtui tool for this. So I'll write down nmtui. The network manager will open. First, I'll change the name to, as we mentioned, fw.chaosnet.local. Click tab twice and I'll click OK. Then I'm going to navigate with up arrow, edit the connection. And I'll go first to the wired connection, which is DTH0, just to double check if it's the DHCP there working. Yeah, that's the, as you see, it says CTH0 here. That's where the DHCP is for the schema, which is given to us in Moodle, supposed to be. Here it is. This connection to the one CTH0, it's supposed to be the external one. So that's what we're going to do now. We leave it like this. So tap several times, and I'll click cancel. Then I'll go to the wired connection 2, which actually will be DTH1, and then with several taps, going to automatic on IP version 4, I'll actually choose manual instead of DHCP. I'll click tap again, click show, then go to addresses, click add, and I'll put the address 192.168.10.1 as per the schema. And on the gateway address, I'll put the same computer as a gateway, although I could leave it without actually. 2.168.10.1. On the DNS server part, because I would like to be able to access internet anywhere my laptop is, meaning in one school, on the second school, or at home, in an internet cafe, instead of what they asking us to put on the Moodle, the DNS server of the school, I'm going to use the very well-known public DNS of Google, 8.8.8.8. And the search domain would be actually the cows .local. Be sure that at the bottom where it says automatically connect and available to your users is checked. If it is not, go to it and click space bar so it will be checked. Then I'm going to click OK. And basically twice escape to go out of this. What I could do here will be system ctl, one of the command which is deeply related with the system D we used. I'll say restart the network, and after the system is restarted, I'll do clear to clear my screen, the scroll back. I'll do IP-A to see what is about my interfaces. Okay, so as you see, the ETH0, which is connected to external interface, and the NAT cloud, which we call having an IP address from the segment of 192.168.122 with CIDR 24. So we're gonna put it right away here. I'll click on the nodes and I'll write down 192.168.122.024, and basically the IP address we are having is actually 52. So I'm gonna click again. I'll go here to ETH0 and I'll do .52. So that's the IP address we have, 192.168.122.52 on the ETH0. And when we check the ETH1, it's wherever we put it there, 192.168.10.1 with CIDR 24. If I would like to check the default route, how they call it here, or the default gateway, IPR is the command, and I'm going to see both of them. So now I see what is for the NAT, and it's .1. So I could basically I could come here and I could right click on this .1 on the right side, duplicated it, and move it just here, and I'm going to have right away. So I have now my schema done properly, okay, with all the needed information, so me to proceed with the labs. Something else I could do on that side is also, as they suggest in the beginning, I could check the firewall to validate the default zone and the active zone and so on and so forth. But I would prefer first to do all of this to all the computers, and then to get there and to start with the firewall checkups and setups as well. Now, most of the time, you're supposed to install the updates and upgrade the system and then to reboot. In terms of working a little bit faster, I'm gonna skip this in my videos here, but it's a mandatory thing when you work at home or at enterprise. The other thing what I'm gonna advise you to do sometimes, when you drag and drop the one of these instances, you open it, you work on it, you set it up. Basically after this, when you shut it down and it's already set it up with the updates, upgrades, and some settings for the firewall, DNS, and so on and so forth, well, basically you could right click and you could duplicate it. Here it is, very easily. and you could have another one which will have all the settings you just did on the first one. So it's a kind of even further, um, to make the process of creating of this faster. Well, in my case here, I'm not gonna do it. I just show it to you, you guys to know that this exists, and it's a good feature you could use. Once again, to duplicate an instance, it's supposed to be shut down. So it's supposed to be showing you red here, red small red dot, and you could duplicate it right away. Okay, so with the firewall done initially, well, actually, what I need to do here, I'm gonna install some software we're gonna need uh, during our work. So what I could do would be yum install -y. I'll do 3. It's a useful tool to see the structure, the file structure in a tree, in a way of a tree. I'll use also vim, so to have the VI improved, it's easier to work with it. I'll do GNU-C compiler we're gonna need, Perl at certain point we're gonna need as well, and I'll start the Apple release repository to be prepared. So most of this thing I would need most probably further in my work on the labs we have. Click enter. Now, if I see the process which is stopping all of this, I could control C and I could do kill, and the number of the process is 860. I'll try again, twice clicking on the up arrow, and I'll start the installation. And now, as you see, the installation starting without any problems. And because I put it there, the -y option, actually it won't ask me for confirmation. Now to click Y and it will do it itself. Now, once this is done, basically what I could do would be to start the other 3 machines and to do the same procedure as I did with the firewall. So the next one will be the server 01. Started. I'll open the console and I will proceed with the logging with the initial password for this one, osboxes.org. And with the initial wizard, configuration wizard, click several times next. I'll stop the location services. I'll skip this one and I'll start using CentOS. Actually, I'm gonna close the getting started windows, right click, open the terminal. I'll do it on the full screen and I'll log in as a super user. So once I do the same thing about the second computer SRV, as you see, it's exactly the same as I did for the first one. I will restart the network. nmtui was exactly the same. I just put it the static IP address of 192.168.10.11 and I put it 192.168.10.1 as a default gateway. DNS was the public DNS. So now I could do ping Google. Well, first let's check the IP addresses. Okay. As we expect, we're gonna see the 1011 with 24 cider. I could check the route, the default route. Oops, sorry. Here it is, 192. Well, 10.01, that's okay. And the other thing we could do, we could ping Google to see, well, from here we're not going to be able to ping it for now because the routing is not there. As you know, we need to do something which will be on our first lap to be able to access Google. And basically what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna check here Google from here though, because it's exposed to Google. Okay, that's my firewall, so no problem for this. I will be able to ping Google. From my server 01, I could ping the default gateway, which will be 192.168.10.1, and that's okay. I could check what is the DNS on both sides, so I'm gonna do here cat sharesolve.conf. Let's see. So as we expect, we see whatever we configure in the network manager. So I'm gonna do the same on my firewall. Let's see. Yeah, that's what we expect. So with this done, I'm gonna proceed installing the same way the server 02 and the client machine. So I'll start the server 02 now, and then right click on it when I see it green, and go to the console. So basically I could reorganize a little bit the console so to be easy accessible. Well, working with one screen is always a little bit of challenge when you have a lot of remote connection, but properly organize them, at least to try to organize as proper as possible. You could have easily working with them. Actually, you could work. So we'll do the same for the server 02. We use the default password of osboxes.org. Yeah, while we're doing this, we need to install the programs we didn't do on the server 01, and we did firewall. So I'll do on the server 01 yum install -y, and I'll do the GNU compiler, the vim 3 apple -this, and Perl. Further, we're gonna install the some of the monitoring tools like Wireshark and Map, as well as some of the configuration and checking tools like bind utils and so on and so forth. But for now, we will stick only to these programs, and we're not going to update once again. So I'll leave the server 01 to install, and I'll go to server 02 through the initial wizard. Click next. I'll stop the location services. Next again. Skip the online thing. Start using CentOS 7, and I will close the getting started window. Well, actually, we cannot install because we don't have internet, so we're gonna leave this to when we have the internet here. So I'll come on the server 02, right click, I'll do open terminal, I'll open it on the full screen. And I'll go to change, first to login as a super user. Then I'll change the password for both users, the super user and the OS boxes user. Then I'm going to access the network manager tool, change the host name to this one will be v02.chaos.local. And then I'll put the static IP address as suggested by the document we have in Moodle. So I'll navigate and I'll change to manual. Add the static address 192.168.10.12. I'll add the gateway 168.1. The DNS 192.168. I'm sorry, it would be 48. And the server main of ChaosNet. Okay, we still don't have routing actually, so we're gonna check. That's why we are not having internet on the server 1 and server 2 yet. Be sure that automatically connect and available to users is done. Click OK then. Twice escape. Okay. And then we could restart the network. I could check the IP address. It's what I'm expecting with the expected with the expected mask, as well as I could check the default gateway. And the next thing I would do, well, I could ping the default gateway. Yeah, when I ping Google, as I know, there will be no reply. And basically, I could start working on my client now to prepare as well. So I start my client, and the same way I'll open the console. And I'll do the similar configuration as for the other. So I'll start the client as well. Same password was boxes.org. I will proceed as before on the initial screen. Start using CentOS, close the getting starting windows, right click to open the terminal, and I will open it on the full screen. I'll log in as super user. You could skip all of this if you prepare one of the machines, and basically after this just clone it. For me it's a good thing to do it, no problem for that. So I'll change the password for super user, and then I'll change the password for boxes user. Okay, then I'm gonna open the nmtui, and I'll go navigate and change the name of the system to client. .chaos.local. change the connection. Well, this one actually I don't need to change. It's supposed to be a DHCP, so leave it like this. I'll just restart the network because of the name change. So I'll do the system CTL start network, and I could do IPA. Well, there will be no IP address on the ETH0 because there is no DHCP server which to provide it with the DHCP address, and as well as on the no default route or default gateway. Okay. So I'm gonna leave this for now like that, and basically that would be all with the second part of the initial setup.